Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, your home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. In today's video, we're going to be profiling POET Technologies. They're an integrated solutions provider, a tech company with a lot going on. We're going to be looking into that in more detail during today's video, plus recent press releases or news from POET Technologies. But before we get into all that, please take a second, smash the like button, guys. Big help to myself and the channel, specifically in getting this content out to other people like you who may find value. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. We just crossed 46,000 subscribers. We'd love to have you as part of the community. And finally, let me know in the comment section below if you're currently holding shares of POET, what you think about their technology, and your outlook for 2025. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at POET Technologies Incorporated, trades on the NASDAQ in the United States under the ticker POET. This is as of midday, Thursday, December 12th. You can see down about 9% on the day. We'll talk about that in a second. Currently trading hands at $4.36. Now, POET Technologies, in combination with their platform technology, is designed to solve the data bottlenecks and latency issues that plague data centers and AI networks ecosystems, so very relevant to what we talk about on a regular basis on the channel. Now, if we zoom out to a 1 month chart, you can see up 14% over the last 30 days. If we zoom out to 6 months, an impressive 148% return over the past 2 quarters. And year to date, POET Technologies is up an incredible 364%. Climbing all the way from sub $1 or 93 cents back at the start of 2024. So this is definitely a success story, regardless of which time interval you look at. And as we'll talk about throughout today's presentation, a number of key reasons why you may want to take a closer look at POET Technologies. Now, before we get into the video, I did want to quickly address the pullback we're seeing in markets or trading today. Again, down around 9% as POET Technologies announces a $25 million offering priced at premium to market. So essentially issuing 5 million shares at a price of $5 US per share. And each share also gives access to half a warrant at a $6 price. So obviously a response to this dilution that we're seeing in the market today. Now, because this is the first time covering POET Technologies on the channel, we're going to start off with their website. I'll leave this linked in the video description below. Learn a little bit about this company, then we'll transition into the investor presentation and finish off with some very bullish news that just recently came out. So as you can see here, POET Technologies, powering AI, providing novel light sources for scalable low-cost hardware applications, advancing AI accelerator, and chip-to-chip communications. And following that, you can see the POET Wavelight, which is their cutting-edge transceiver, the POET Infinity, which is their chiplet-based transmitter, and those products are made possible by the POET Optical Interposer, which is designed to be a platform technology for all computing devices. We're going to talk about that as a regular theme throughout today's video, similar to what Intel has accomplished with their silicon semiconductor technology for generations. So this is really the main catalyst or the main point of excitement building around POET heading into 2025. And finally, you'll see they've already won multiple awards for AI innovation, which further speaks to how advanced POET is and the technology behind this company. Now, as far as the company history goes, POET Technologies has always been focused on disruptive potential of its technology, applying their knowledge for design and fabrication of active photonic devices and optical waveguides with a deep understanding of semiconductor fabrication techniques. They've now created the first ever wafer-level integration of electronics and photonics into a single device, which is the POET Optical Interposer. The value proposition of the POET Optical Interposer and the optical engines and transceivers built from it includes lower bill of materials cost, lower labor cost, lower power consumption, and the necessary performance to power the next generation of AI. So POET replaces costlier copper wires with photonics, harnessing less costly lasers to deliver a cleaner energy solution. And as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, this is really the foundation that many other solutions are built upon upon, spanning multiple product generations and a wide variety of applications. And because of that wafer level processing, they're completely compatible with standard CMOS semiconductor processing, which means it will work with all of the top semiconductor manufacturers worldwide. Now, where this gets really important is because of the recent boom we've seen in the AI sector, there's been a surge in demand for these types of products. And because of the integration potential, it really enables far greater performance and calculations out of these chips, which makes it extremely well suited for AI. And that's, of course, where the story comes from, POET powering AI. Now, POET is providing these transceivers and chip-to-chip compute solutions to customers engaged in AI hardware and AI clusters. They've partnered with some of the top manufacturers of computer devices in the world, and in many cases, those companies are now selling directly to the hyperscalers. So think about companies like Foxconn, Luxshare. They're then producing these devices and selling them to NVIDIA, Google, and the Apples of the world. And here you can see some of the technological capabilities, including 200 gigs per lane, which is significantly ahead of the market in terms of their design architecture for their optical engines, and a total addressable market of $12.5 billion, expected to grow 7 times over in the next 5 years. So essentially, AI has come knocking on the doorstep of POET Technologies. Now on the left, you'll see a comment from Foxconn Interconnect Technology, so one of the partners of POET Technologies, saying POET's hybrid integration platform will enable us to use best-of-breed components and ramp to high volume at a much faster pace and in a cost-effective manner, with 6 core investment highlights laid out on the right, including their pure-play exposure to AI datacom hardware, their industry-disruptive technology platform we just looked at, financial stability with a large market cap and sufficient working capital to support the business, large, high-growth, multi-billion-dollar markets, which we just talked about in terms of the total addressable market, their underlying technology, which is protected by 30 patents and 19 applications on file, and of course that NASDAQ listing, which gives them access to global capital and markets. Now, we talk a lot about artificial intelligence and HPC in terms of our power mining analysis content as well. So I thought this slide was great to throw in, talking about the various different segments within the artificial intelligence vertical. So you've got software and service. This is going to be things like Salesforce, Chorus, Apple Intelligence, customer-facing products that harness analytics, inferences, machine learning, training, and they emulate human tasks. You've then got Datacom Links, which is going to include companies like POET Technologies, focused on communicating data between servers, data centers, home and office over fiber optic networks. Again, in the case of POET Technologies, harnessing the power of lasers and light. And then third is going to be the actual processors. So this is going to be companies that process or store data, executing software commands like the GPU clusters we learn about from NVIDIA, or some of the other hyperscalers, including Intel and AMD, that are actually building the data centers and buying the GPUs themselves. And that's obviously why there's such high demand for these products, which essentially act as the invisible link connecting this AI vertical all together. And once again, as you can imagine, extreme demand for these high-speed optical modules as the integration of AI, machine learning, and the Internet of Things really hits this inflection point between 2023 and 2024, with an expected $17 billion worth of additional optical transceiver sales in AI alone expected over the next 5 years. So with that being said, a perfect segue into our final piece of today's video, an article that came out on November 25th, a press release entitled POET Expands Capacity to Meet AI Infrastructure Demand. So directly related to that last point, announced their intention to expand their optical engine production capacity in Malaysia, and announcing they've signed a binding MOU or Memorandum of Understanding with Quanzhou Sanan Optical Communication Technology Co. to transfer to POET its 24.8% stake in their joint venture SPX, along with all the production equipment previously leased by SAIC to SPX. So this is actually going to enable POET to implement their China Plus One strategy to locate their wafer scale assembly operations outside of China in anticipation of the incoming administration in the United States and potential challenges, tariffs, or issues down the road. So this is obviously a big step in the right direction for POET Technologies, with the CEO of POET going on to say the addition of wafer scale equipment to our assembly and test operations will significantly expand our production capacity to cover the projected needs of our customers for 800G optical engines being sold to AI networks through 2026. We can now project an assembly and test capacity exceeding 1 million optical engines per year, all dedicated to the 800G and higher speed transceivers required for AI clusters. Now, POET hasn't yet announced what it sells its engines for, but most optical engines on the market retail for around $500, so the company has capacity to deliver $500 million in sales of these optical engines alone, and that number will grow as the company is only beginning their commercialization ramp. In addition, that figure doesn't include what might be able to have been assembled by third-party manufacturers. And again, on the corporate presentation, you can see POET is one of only a few suppliers of these 800G engines, with this migration to higher speeds consistently accelerating, as with many things we're seeing in the AI space. So not only does this signify the demand for POET Technologies and their products is growing exponentially, thus requiring them to increase their production capacity, but it also allows them more vertical integration and control in this facility, further differentiating themselves and separating their products from the competitors. Now, as a follow-up to that, Insider Monkey picked up on POET Technologies expanding their optical engine production to meet AI demand, and they've actually included them in their list of 15 AI news updates investors should not miss, citing the worldwide adoption we're seeing in AI and the increasing demand for digital technologies to meet these AI growth rates. So for those reasons, you guys, you may want to take a closer look at POET Technologies and throw this one on your watch list. As we saw in the intro, a very good looking chart on the 1, 3, 6, and 12 month view. They've had some big catalysts develop with AI essentially landing on their doorstep, leading to a huge surge in demand that they're now able to meet with their increased production capacity, all built on top of the POET Optical Interposer platform, and well protected within their deep moat of intellectual property. Now, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, specifically if you're already holding shares of POET and your outlook on this stock for next year. If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button and feel free to subscribe. That's all for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.